This is a Flying Cow production.
Well, hello and welcome back to the Great Film Challenge. I, of course, am your host, Clay Johnson, the Flying Cow himself, and here with me is my nephew, Aaron. Aaron, how we doing today, buddy?
Good.
Good. You know, I have been meaning to mention it for the last couple of episodes, but a couple of episodes ago, we actually did our 10th film. So we are over a 10th of a way through our list. This is actually number 12. So we're getting into our second 10th in this little challenge that we are doing. How are you enjoying it so far?
It's been really fun. I get to see like a lot of new movies or actually watch ones that I've heard about. So it's very exploratory.
Well, there you go. Good stuff. And I will say, this is, introducing me to some movies that I haven't seen before. And it gives me the opportunity to hang out with you a little bit. Speaking of, if the sound is a little different than it has been in the past. The past couple of episodes, we have actually switched recording spaces. We are recording in Aaron's new room. Yay.
I have a bed again.
Right? Yeah, I know. I understand how exciting that is. But yeah, we are recording in a new space. So if it sounds a little echoey, we apologize for that. This place does not have carpet. So might be a little bit more, but we are recording, around, soft sound absorbing things. So hopefully it won't be too bad. Aaron, what do you say we go ahead and jump into our film today?
Yes.
All right. So today we are talking about the film Three Idiots, which is an Indian Hindi language coming of age comedy drama from 2009. It was written and directed by Rajkumar Hirani. And let's see, it stars Amir Khan, R. Madhavan, Sharman Joshi, and Kareena Kapoor, and many more. So this is another film, Aaron. This is the second film we have seen with Amir Khan. Yes. I will say, though, the last one, I believe, was like he had produced it and possibly even written it. I can't remember. But this time he's just starring in it.
Yeah.
It's not like...
I was going to say, I noticed that at the end.
Yeah. I can't remember. I don't think he directed Lagaan, but I do think that he produced it. I'll have to check on that. This is the second one that we have seen. It's the third one of his films that I have seen, because I've seen him in... so he did produce Lagaan, whereas this one he's like I said, strictly an actor. Although I mentioned it to you, this film came out 8 years later. The man looks the same.
Yeah, he kind of does. He doesn't look too much different, honestly.
No, he really doesn't. And at the end of the film, there's a shot, and I was like, that man, at the time that this was filmed, was about 45 years old. doesn't look a day over 35.
Nope.
Like, I'm just like, and I mean, this is coming from someone that I have been told the majority of my life, people always think I look 10 years younger than I am. So, I get that, but I swear, like, the other film that I've seen him in was made only 2, 3, maybe 4 years ago. And again, looks the same.
Yeah.
I mean, I think in that one he has a bit more facial hair, and now, like, when he did that one, he would have been like in his mid to late 50s. So
Really?
yeah, because now he's like this year he'll be 60.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and he does not look it. Like, he still looks, I would probably give him late 30s, maybe early 40s now.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's good looking guy. But we're not here talking strictly about Amir Khan. We are here talking about this film. Like I said, it is called Three Idiots, and it basically follows the story of three friends who meet in university, and kind of, what, a little bit about the fun that they get up to, but also it centers around Amir Khan's character, as kind of this, guy who loves learning,
Yeah.
and becomes kind of an inspirational figure within not just his friends' lives, but also just the people around him. Like, he loves learning, and he loves inspiring other people to also enjoy learning. I mean, this film, I was reading about it a little bit, just a little bit, and it's very it serves as a commentary for the Indian education system at the time. And apparently, and I read this and I'm like, I wish this worked here, because apparently this inspired reforms
Oh wow.
in the Indian education system, and actually inspired changes in other areas where it went as well. And I'm just like, because the whole thing is about how the education system is valuing numbers and grades,
Yeah.
rather than learning and the joy of learning, and actually accomplishing something, and actually achieving things, and I would argue that we have a very similar problem here in the States. Yet, we have films all the time that are about the problems that we have. And do they inspire change?
No.
Nope. Unfortunately not. I mean, we just talked about Dr. Strangelove, and I feel like we have, if anything, backtracked on a lot of those things. So yeah, it's just like, man, if India can learn from their films, why can we not learn from ours?
Yeah.
But different place. But yeah, so this is also another one of those films that I had not seen.
Yeah.
So I don't know about you, but I was really taken by the story and the characters and things like that. I will say, if I had one critique, I thought that the music was a little goofy.
The music was a little goofy. There wasn't as much as there was in Lagaan, but also
No,
Lagaan
I mean,
was almost twice as long.
True, but I mean, there were really only like 2 dance numbers, and they were like back to back, almost. And so, but yeah, I mean, there were definitely like just some cheesy, like cues, like music cues.
Yeah.
That just kind of like, it's like I don't need that to tell me that this is supposed to be a sentimental moment.
Yeah.
Like, because it almost read as comical because it was so on the nose.
Yeah, I kind of agree.
At times. And you know, there were some beats that I was like, I mean, you know, the whole thing with the, you know, Amir Khan's character. I mean, he's called what do they call him throughout most of the film? Rancho.
Yeah.
He has this thing that he does where he pats his chest close to his heart.
Yeah.
And yeah, and says all is well, all is well. And there's a beat at the end where it basically saves a child, and I was just like, okay,
I wasn't expecting that, but it's really funny.
That's a little too goofy. But okay, whatever.
It had like the slightest bit of reasoning that called back, but I honestly didn't care.
No, there was no reasoning in that. I mean, it was a callback, yes, but there was no like, you know, there was no logic to that moment. It was just. Remember, we did this when she was pregnant, so now it's going to make the child come to life. Like, what? But yeah, so I mean, you know, some silly stuff, but for the most part, I really enjoyed this film. What did you think of? Yeah. What were some of your favorite bits?
That's difficult.
It's difficult.
There was so much goofy stuff from this movie that I actually like really enjoyed.
Mm-hmm.
Now I have to like actually recall it.
Yeah. I mean, I will say we actually, well, I mean, we watched it, but then we played cards for a little bit afterwards.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, we did watch it tonight.
I'm actually having trouble remembering because there was so much.
Sure.
In cards.
Well, I mean, let's kind of break things down here. So, you know, we've got Amir Khan's character Rancho is kind of like at the beginning of the film, like there's a part of this that is taking place in more, I'm going to say present day just for shorthand, but basically at least present day for the characters. And basically two of his friends, Farhan and Raju, are basically being called by this guy that they went to school with, Chatur, who is basically out to prove to Rancho that he is more successful than Rancho was, because you know, Rancho's whole thing was basically, you know, joy for learning and, you know, actually doing things that you love, whereas Chatur is 100% a capitalist. Like he's just about what will make him the most money.
Yep.
And you know, he makes a bet with him at one point in the film, and he's like, we'll meet back here in 10 years and I guarantee you that I'm going to be more successful than you are. Here's the thing. They measure success differently.
Yeah.
Even at the moment that they are making, well, and really it's just Chatur that makes the bet. Rancho, I'm just going to keep calling him Rancho because that's what they call him throughout most of the film. We find out later that that's not actually his name.
Yeah, it's actually
but yeah, you know, we're not going to spoil everything. But you know, Rancho never actually agrees to the meeting or the bet or anything. He is simply, he's just like, yeah, whatever, dude. Because, like I said, he rates success in a different way
Yep.
than the other guy does. The other guy is all about the stats and looking impressive, but he doesn't really care about learning. In fact, there is a point at which they make a fool out of him because he does not value learning. He is in a Hindi speaking community, but he doesn't actually speak Hindi.
Not completely.
Right. So, rather than learning Hindi, there is a time when he has to give a speech in Hindi, and instead of learning, like, he even tells the guy, he's like, I don't care about what the words mean. Just write down stuff that's going to be impressive and I'll read it.
Yep.
So that's what he does. And unknown to him, Rancho and his friends have gone in and changed some of the words so that instead of saying that the president of the college is is really big on serving, he instead says that he's really big on screwing.
That part was like not petty, but like,
I mean, it was a prank.
Yeah, it was like prank humor.
Yeah,
it was still funny.
Yeah, it was 100%. And I mean, it's all on him. If he had, cared enough to learn what he was saying, then he wouldn't have been in that issue. He would have known that what he said was not what he was intending to say, but he literally did not care. It was all about appearance for him. And so, when he calls these guys to meet up with Rancho, nobody knows where Rancho is. He disappeared. Eventually they have to go off and find him. Again, it seems like he has kind of settled in this small town, and he's just kind of running this, kind of independent learning area, and has taught the kids in the area. And of course, Chatur thinks that, he's a failure because, he just teaches, and, teachers don't make very much, and all this blah, 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 blah. And, come to find out, the entire movie he's been talking about how he's going to make this big deal with this really successful scientist. and I told you from the beginning, I was like, I bet you Rancho is the scientist. And he was.
Yeah.
I mean, there are, like I said, there are tones in this that I'm not wild about, but I do enjoy, the overall feel of the film. And I mean, some of it is a little like, I guessed the twist from the beginning, but I still feel like I enjoyed it. Even though I knew where they were going, I enjoyed the journey getting there.
Yeah, it was definitely enjoyable.
Did you? Yeah, go ahead.
Really funny parts that are starting to come back to me, like mainly just getting to see Chatur get dragged around with them. Like, they're halfway to where he was wanting to go, or to wherever, and they immediately turn around and he does not want to go. So
because they're on their way to go see Rancho.
Yeah.
And then halfway they realize that his love interest in the film, Pia, doesn't know that they know where Rancho is.
Yep.
And she's about to get married to some asshole. So they decide that they need to go break up his wedding. Well, of course, Chatur is just like, no, I just want to rub my success in this guy's face. I don't care about, these two getting back together. And eventually they just bind and gag him.
Yep.
So that they can do what they want to do. And he spends, even after they start heading back, they leave him that way.
Yeah.
For a good little bit. But yeah, it's some funny stuff. Anything else that you want to talk about?
I liked the because they were on the stairs before they went to his house, right? The professor's house. They got
In
drunk.
what part? Oh, yeah, I don't.
I think it was like right before that,
Uh-huh.
but like that was their little bit of finally stepping forward and going through with what they wanted to do.
Sure.
And then they I like that because it was kind of like in the moment character development.
Right. Well, I mean, because at a certain point, Rancho's whole thing with both of his friends is that they're being held back by some form of fear. One of them, basically, they're in school for engineering.
Yep.
One of them doesn't even want to be an engineer. He wants to be a photographer.
Yes.
And the other one does want to be an engineer, but he's so worried about his his the things that he needs to do for his family, that it is it's crippling him, basically.
Yes.
And so he needs to let go of that fear in order to succeed. But yeah
I think it was also just pretty remarkable seeing them not only push through but get over just the pure sheer cruelty of the professor.
Yeah, I mean the professor is an interesting character because he starts off just kind of like he represents the kind of numbers based form of learning that Rancho is fighting against. And yeah, there are times at which he's very heartless and cruel and things like that. And then towards the end, eventually, I mean, honestly, the very end of his story, we see him kind of warm up to Rancho and his ideas to the point where he basically bestows on him a gift, basically saying, you're the most gifted student I've ever taught. So yeah, I mean, which honestly I really enjoyed as a moment. I thought that was a really nice, I mean, again, I knew from the moment the movie started that he was going to end up giving that pen to Rancho. Yeah. But I still enjoyed, getting to that place. But yeah. Anything else you want to talk about?
No.
All right. Then just a reminder, you can contact us on all of our socials. Instagram, Blue Sky, Twitter, as long as I have to keep it. And you can reach us at the Flying Cow Pod. You can also email at the Flying Cow Pod at gmail.com. Check out everything else that we have going on right now. All right, Aaron, it is time to spin the wheel to find out our next film. Okay. Which wheel are we going to spin? We've done The Unseen twice in a row, but as we've mentioned several times, you've got way more on the unseen wheel than you do on the scene. Yeah. Do you want to do another unseen, or do you want to skip over to ones that you've seen before? It's a thinker, folks. It's a thinker. Which one are we going to pull up?
I guess we'll just do another unseen.
All right, let's do another unseen film. So are you ready to spin that wheel?
Yep.
All right, here we go.
It's being really slow this time. Come on.
No, it's still going.
Finally. Okay. Uh,
What do we got?
Terminator.
The Terminator. That's right. I forget you haven't seen that.
Yeah, I was like, wait, no, I watched the second one.
Yeah.
Because of course the second one.
Oh, okay. Okay. So you've seen the second one and not the first one?
So we tried watching the first one,
Uh-huh.
and I don't remember why we stopped, but we did.
Okay.
And then I'm pretty sure I watched the entire second one.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I really enjoy the original Terminator.
Yeah.
I know your mother apparently has tried to watch it several times and it just hasn't grabbed her. But all right, so we will be watching the Terminator. So we look forward to reviewing that one for everyone out there. I hope you guys are enjoying what we are doing. As mentioned, check out our socials. Let us know what you're thinking, what you're feeling. We have recently found Aaron's
The
posters
poster.
again. So
Yay.
we're going to scratch off some of these little spots and kind of update our little picture on there to let people know what we've done so far. So check that out and let us know what you're thinking about. But we'll be back next time to review the Terminator. But until that time, moo.